There are two types of people who say fat phobia isn't a thing. The first type is people who think fat phobia isn't a thing because they're like, well, it's not a phobia. You don't have a phobia of fat people. I don't have a phobia of fat people. I just fear being fat with everything in me and would kill myself if I gained any weight.
Hello, YouTube, and welcome to the Body Honesty Project. My name is Lydia, and today we are continuing on with our fat acceptance predictions for the year 2024. Now, in the first three installments, we covered Fat Girl Flow, Professor Brain Fever, Jordan Allen Hall Underwood, Samira, Fierce Fat Femme, and Anti-Diet Pilot. Today, we'll be talking about MoreThanTraceyT T and TheJockScientist. So, let's get into it.
There are two types of people who say fat phobia isn't a thing. The first type is people who think fat phobia isn't a thing because they're like, well, it's not a phobia. You don't have a phobia of fat people. I don't have a phobia of fat people. I just fear being fat with everything in me and would kill myself if I gained any weight. The second type of people who don't think fat phobia should be a thing believe it's not on par with other oppressions, such as, xenophobia, homophobia, whatever.
Okay, so that's MoreThanTraceyT T. Now, Tracy, just for those of you who might not remember, is probably most famous for the My Boyfriend's Apartment is Fat Phobic video where she could not open the fridge because she couldn't get around it because it opened the wrong way. And so she said that every time she went to the fridge was reminding her that it was fat phobic. That was one of the more viral ones of Tracy. She comes off more like a Hannah in terms of like a little bit more calm in the delivery, trying to back things up with facts, or like when they say facts, I'm talking about Fearing the Black Body of that book as being facts, but like gives that kind of presentation. She's still been around this year. She's still been putting out quite a lot of videos. What do we think is going to happen to Tracy this year?
I think she is absolutely a gain, because when she starts comparing being fat to xenophobia and all these other phobias, transphobia, homophobia, whatever she wants to put on that list, then she starts to think that I'm this way because I'm this way. This is who I am. I'm just a human existing in my fat body. God made me this way. There's nothing I can do to change it. It's just me. And so when you oppress me for being this way against my will, I guess you can say, then you just have no desire to change because you think there's nothing you can do to fix it. Mm-hmm. And then the first statement, she talked about homophobia, and the first type of person thinks that, not homophobia,
xenophobia, she said, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the first thing she was saying about fat phobia is, if you think that you're not afraid of the fat body, but you just don't want to gain weight, and so you don't think you're fat phobic because of that. That's absolutely ridiculous too, because you can get to a point where you realize that your fat is damaging to you, it's hurting you in a lot of ways, and that you need to change. That doesn't make you fat phobic. That doesn't mean you hate all fat people and you're covering it up with that kind of a blanket saying all people who want to lose weight, all people who think that it's not okay to be fat, because you've been there, you've experienced that, you know the kind of pain that it brings. That doesn't mean I hate you if you're a fat person.
Mm-hmm.
It just means that I had to make a decision for my own life because I was getting to a point where I was going to die. This is about me and my journey. This isn't about you. This has nothing to do with you. Why you're so threatened by me wanting to lose weight is your problem. It's not my problem. It doesn't make me fat phobic. It doesn't mean I hate you as a human being. It doesn't mean I hate all fat people. My channel exists because I'm trying to warn people about what's to come if they don't change, if they don't get it figured out.
Tracy would call your channel incredibly fat phobic, Tony.
It is. It absolutely is. I even put a tagline on my thing. I'm a fat phobic extremist.
Fat
because I hate fat. I'm not saying I hate fat people. I love you as a person. Mm-hmm. But I know what you are doing to yourself is damaging. You are inflicting self-damage to yourself, and you don't realize it by staying the size that you are and putting all this nasty content out there saying it's okay to be fat. Being fat's not going to do anything to you. So if that makes me fat phobic, or if that makes me fat phobic, then so be it. I embrace the term. Bring it on. I don't care.
Right.
For me, I do think she's going to be a gain, which is a sad thing because I think she could benefit from being a lose. Again, she's
open her fridge if she loses.
I have to not laugh loud because she'll fly off. Anyways, calm. When it comes to her, I actually got introduced to her because of the whole if you don't date fat women kind of situation.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's a thought. It's a wrong one. And because the boyfriend thing, I did not remember that because I actually got introduced to her being someone who couldn't find anybody and she didn't want to be, but she still wanted to be dated. And she didn't, I said the word, I'm sorry, make sure you blurb that.
Mhm.
She didn't want people who only wanted fat people. And you know, she in some ways comes off very reasonable. But I can recall quite a few videos where I was watching and my eyes were like starting to slowly black out because I was getting so annoyed with what she was saying. It's a matter of she does deliver in a calm way. Hannah, the one with the turquoise hair is the one you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She delivers in the same idea, although Hannah fills me with rage because for a different reason. But anyway, it's the same idea though, because she's delivering it in this real sweet way, but it's still wrong. I do believe she could have her thoughts changed. I've seen her change. It's been so long since I've looked over her content though. It's been a long time. But she's sitting there complaining about the fat phobia of the fridge. She is one of the many who, when fat activists and body positivity people died, silent. Didn't say a word. Didn't say anything. I know she was also one of the people mad at Taylor Swift for the scale.
Yep.
In the video. She was one of them. Like, how dare she? Like, I know, how dare a thin person have any insecurities? And again, which that opens up a whole new thing. So she's sitting there saying how being overweight is the same as whatchamacalls it, being discriminated against because they don't deserve it because it's inherently not theirs. But then at the same time claiming thin people should never have any insecurities. Well, then that means you're saying that they're the golden standard. You're saying that they shouldn't have any insecurities because they're what you want to be.
Right.
So make up your mind.
Exactly.
And that's my thing. What they don't want to hear, and what every fat person, because again, I was one of those fat people for a while, because there is some, I won't deny that there's always a grain of truth to some of these ideals. Yes, you do get discriminated against, sometimes very unfairly, for being overweight, no matter what you do. That's life. No matter what you do in this world, someone is not going to agree with you. No matter how nice you are, no matter how philanthropic you are, no matter what you do, someone's going to hate you. Someone's going to dislike you. Huh?
And that's totally okay if not everybody likes you.
Exactly. You have to deal with that. And sometimes people are going to discriminate against you purely because they feel like going out and causing chaos that day. No other reason. They find a reason and they find it funny, and that's it. And you know what you can do? You can choose to either just let it go, because the more you pay attention to it, the more they realize it gets under your skin, and the more they use it against you. Because if you've noticed, if you look at the BOPO movement, and a lot of it was with the radical feminism, what erupted afterwards? You've got these crazy red pill people who demonize anything, even remotely feminine. Oh, I've literally been told because I'm overweight, I don't deserve to talk to anybody. So it's like, when you go extreme, like these people are, claiming that you're some kind of protected class because of your own choices, and then you get mad later when more crazy people come out. And that's what's going on with people like her. She's sitting there saying, oh, well, you're fat phobic if you don't want to be overweight. What if Tony and I have been talking about this entire time? Just because when you're younger and you have the time to flit around and be fit, you don't feel the weight. doesn't mean it's not going to affect you. Every
Mhm.
1 pound of fat is 5 pounds of pressure on your knees. And you're not going to be arthritic at 23, but you're damn sure going to be arthritic at 31. And guess what? You're going to start to feel it. And it's going to really suck the first time you fall and you can't get up. And you burst the inside of your belly button and you bust your lip open. Ask me how I know. So don't sit there and act like you're a protected class, little girl. What you are is a selfish, gluttonous person who doesn't want to face the consequences of their actions.
Yep. Both my knees are completely blown out. I'm going to need to get both of them replaced. I can't wait now because I still got weight to lose. I couldn't fit in the MRI machine. So my doctor is waiting for me to lose more weight before I can get my knees figured out. But that's a result of my weight. It's not because I hate you as a fat person. It's because I know the damage you're doing to your body because I've done all the damage and I'm still in pain. I'm in pain sitting here. All right. I can't fix this, the color of my skin, but I can fix this, the parts of me that jiggle. I can fix that. So you are not in some protected class. You can fix your weight. You just, like Starzan said, you just refuse to do so.
Right.
I went off like that, by the way.
I don't see Tracy changing this year. That her message has been pretty consistent. I'm gonna say that she's a gain. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Let's talk about calorie deficits, actually. And I know you left this because you're trying to be funny, troll, haha, fatty, lose weight, calorie deficit. But instead, I'm just going to be really obnoxious and you're going to regret leaving this comment. Now, these knuckleheads love to pretend like they did science beyond high school level chemistry and invoke the name of the law of thermodynamics.
Okay, I'm actually going to stop it here and not share the entire video because it's really obnoxious. I'll tell you what she says in it. It's long, and what she starts to say is that actually really our bodies just want to live at a level of homeostasis, meaning that equal calories in versus calories out, and we don't actually want to be in a calorie deficit because that's not what our bodies want. It wants homeostasis, and that's what her argument was. Okay, versus because she said a calorie deficit will just mean that once you start eating properly or whatever, again, you're going to gain the weight back, but not recognizing that when you lose weight and then maintain what you're eating at that lower amount, you are back at homeostasis again and equaling it out. She was missing the point of the diet is a lifestyle change and you do it forever versus, of course, when you eat again, you're going to gain the weight back. Anyways, Jock Scientist annoys me. She's not very large. Like, she's barely plus size. Honestly, isn't she like a size 14 or something? She's just average.
She's just arrogant is what she is. And here's again, another one that blocked me because she didn't like when I pointed out her hypocrisy.
She blocked you?
Like, oh yeah. A lot of them. Here's the thing in how I know the BOPO as a whole has zero weight in their actual argument, because when a thin person like Kiana or Michelle came at them, they had all the vitriol. When I came at them, all they do is block me, because when it's a fat woman saying it, they can't argue with me because their whole narrative is when fat bodies are speaking, you listen. So when this fat body speaks,
you get blocked.
I get blocked because we can't listen to that one. No, I will tell you, when she went after Kiana, I saw red, because this woman is nothing but hypocrisy. I don't know if you've seen her, Tony. This woman has been, like, one of the things that made me notice her was she stitched Marissa, and she started talking about the I just scrolled by the video looking for realistic recovery. There was something where it was like this complex where fat people survive heart attacks better. And yeah, it's because fat people are more likely to have heart attacks. So of course you're going to see a higher number of survival amongst them, but they actually proved the entire study wrong. She likes to sit there and say because Kiana doesn't have a PhD or whatever, and supposedly she does, that whatever Kiana says is wrong. But if that's the case, then that means nobody should be able to validate any research unless they're professionals. There's no proof you're a professional, Buttercup.
Jock Scientist is also someone who's put out so many videos supporting the obesity paradox.
That's it. That's the bull dookie right there.
Yes.
See, I'm being good. Again, these are the people that made me start wanting to make videos, because I just could not believe that you could be that loud and stupid and people actually validated you.
Tony, are you familiar with TheJockScientist?
Not a lot, no.
I'm
Not
so
a lot.
glad you're not.
But I wrote her name down, so I plan on going back and looking her up for more of her nonsense. When she talks about homeostasis, that homeostasis will change depending on how big or small you get.
Yep.
There is no homeostasis. There's, for your height, maybe once you hit I'm going to say a really bad word here, BMI, when you hit a certain BMI number that's normal for your size, and if you maintain a certain amount of calories, then yeah, you will stay there. But if you put in more than you eat, your body will store what's left for energy, and then you store fat. If you eat less than that, you will use up body fat to help you maintain your body. So yeah, your body needs a certain amount of calories, but that will change based upon how big or small you get. Right now, I'm on a 2,400 calorie a day diet. That will change once I lose weight, because once I start losing weight, I will get to a point where I can't lose weight eating that amount of calories. I will need to eat less.
Or add more activity.
So if I got to a point where I felt like my body was its happiest when I was almost 700 pounds, I'd have to be eating 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 calories a day to maintain and hit my homeostasis.
Mm-hmm.
If homeostasis was real, starvation would be impossible.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's just absolute nonsense, because, once you get to a certain weight, it's going to be dangerous and immoral even to keep maintaining at that certain weight.
Mm-hmm.
Like me eating upwards of 10,000 calories per day, because that's what my body requires, because that's what my body wants to maintain where it's at. And losing weight is just this horrible thing. If I can't start eating at a caloric deficit, because that's, in her eyes, just this terrible, terrible thing, nobody would ever need to lose weight at all. Ever.
Have they watched, like, I oh my God, I agree so much, Tony, because, like, all right, so there's this guy who does these food challenges, and I saw him briefly when I was researching Nikocado, and he was like, I ate like Nikocado for a day, and I was like, well, I cannot watch that video because I don't think I'll eat for a week. Because anyways, he did the diet of the world's heaviest woman, and I was just floored by what this, like, a dozen donuts. If just for breakfast, she would have an entire package of bacon. She'd have a 12-egg cheese and ham omelet. She'd have like 12 donuts. She would have like 3 potatoes worth of hash browns, and with butter and everything. And I'm just like, I was looking at this and I was like, and I actually kind of like phased out half of what I was seeing, because I couldn't believe the amount of food this man was able to eat in the day, like whole bowls of nacho cheese and and I was like sitting there, and I was just like getting more and more. I'm getting nausea because I haven't eaten yet. All I have is a coffee, and I'm just like, oh my God. And she's saying that that's natural. Like, this woman easily ate not 10, more like 30 or 40,000 calories in a day. And your little theory's trying to tell me that's normal? You're trying to tell me that that's just her homeostasis? Like, really? Really?
And you don't have to starve yourself to lose weight, which is might be what she's thinking. Because I know a lot of the fat activists think that if you live in any kind of a caloric deficit, you're starving yourself, and that's a terrible thing.
Right.
No. When I earlier when I joined up with MyFitnessPal, and I was using that app, they gave me like 3,500 calories to lose weight, to lose weight in a healthy manner, 3 to 4 pounds. I think it was 2 to 3 pounds per week. So they're not allowing you to have a large weight loss thing, but you can eat 3,000 calories, 3,500 calories a day, and still lose 1, 2, 3 pounds per week. Yeah. So that's not starving yourself.
Nope.
That's not starving yourself. You can,
and especially if you make sure you have protein. If you prioritize protein, and like I will tell you right now, don't say you're starving. Like I remember looking at it and I was like, all I had was just crack an egg with 2 eggs in it. Like, and I was so full afterwards. And when I was looking at that omelet, I was like, but that's besides the point. If you prioritize protein, like if you have a steak or you have several like 12 ounces of chicken, and or you add like low fat cheeses, or I know nuts can be high in fat, but if you just have a few of them, you can prioritize the right things in your diet, and you will not starve yourself. Like you could even be at, and I know this is going to get some people hating me, you could even be at a 1,500 calorie a day, and I promise you not be starving. There are quite a few times that I will do 1,500 for like a week or two at a time, and I promise you guys there is never a lack of food going in here.
I mean, yeah, there's, like I said, I'm on a 2,400 calorie a day diet. There are days where I still have 800 to 1,000 calories left. And that's not because I had my weight loss surgery. That prevents me from eating a lot at one time. But what I learned over the holidays is I could still snack all day long. Every half an hour, I could eat some more and just eat another donut, eat another whatever. I could still gain weight. That's why a lot of people still gain weight after weight loss surgery. It's what you eat that matters. You can eat a bunch of cheap carbohydrates and be hungry 10 minutes later. You can eat 20, not 20, you can eat easily 1,000 calories of chips sitting down and just munching on a whole bag and never get full. But you have a steak, you have a hamburger patty maybe, you can get full off of that because protein works like a wet log on a fire. It just burns and burns and you stay satiated. So
I gotta say, I'll take a steak over a bag of chips any day.
Yeah. I mean, so what you eat does matter. So just throwing this blanket on there that any kind of caloric deficit is this terrible, absolutely terrible thing. You can do it in a way that's not going to make you hungry. You do not have to starve yourself to lose weight. You can do it in a healthy, slow manner and just be patient with it. Take 1 to 2 pounds per week over the course of a year. That's 100 pounds. I mean, you can do it that way. But so many people, when you get desperate, I need to lose weight, I'm going to go from eating, 10,000 calories a day to maybe 800 calories per day, and they think it's not going to have an impact on their system. They're absolutely wrong. Their body's going to go into freak out mode. You don't have to do that. You can do it in a reasonable manner.
Right, I agree. So I am, in summary for JockScientist, before we move on, I don't think that she's in bad health herself, so I don't think that she's in any danger of going. However, she has been a little bit less relevant. I think that she will stay pushing her message, so I guess she will be I'm going to say, for me, I think that she's a gain, but she won't necessarily be as popular. I don't think that she's going to change her message.
Right. I had to I thought I said it earlier, but that's what I was trying to lead to, but I got so annoyed with just her entire narrative. I agree. I don't think she has the personality to be able to lose or even go quietly. I just don't. I think she is far too self-centered and arrogant. Like she has entirely too high an opinion of herself. I think her only option, even if she did start losing weight, is she would continue the narrative. I don't think she would change her tune. I think she would continue to gain in, oh yeah, this is the case. Me losing weight? No, that's not happening. Or she'll just, like, if you notice, none of her videos are below her shoulders.
No, she doesn't show her body. I don't think she's that big though.
I don't think she is either. That's my point. I think she has one of those jawlines that if you take the right angle, which she often is at a lower angle, which makes you appear fatter. I think she gaslights her entire whatchamacallit.
I think she's just like average size. I don't think that she's actually fat. Like just like a 14, 16 or so. That's what I think.
And so she's tricking them into thinking that she's fat too. I'm just like you guys, when she's not.
Yeah. So that concludes the 4th installment. If you haven't seen the previous 3, you can find them over here. And if you want to see tomorrow's 5th and final installment, you can find that over there. So until next time, stay body positive, but also body on.